When a project starts, most of the people don't believe in it, and when you as an adult makes that decision to do something, a lot of people will laugh and feel like you're just wasting your time. So when we started all this is a continuation of the story that I was telling you the other time. It was one of the episodes. So when we started this, uh, I'm sure some people who are watching this didn't believe that we could reach where we are right now. And sorry to say this, but if you know you're that person, we are still moving. Tuko sawa, tuko tu sawa. My name is Austin Okinda.
My name is Yulta Tina. Actually, I'll just say, I thought that I was going to say it is a process of adult.
I don't just give out that. Watajua, wajua mpishi mzuri siku zote akiandaa chakula mara nyingi hufukuza watu jikoni. Hiyo ni yangu. I'm being wise today. So today we want to talk about adulting. I think it's one of the topic that watu wengi wazungumze, but it has a lot of things. And it's broken down into two, whereby we'll talk about so many things that sitawambia bado sahi staki. Nataka tufuate bado muendelee kuwa nasi. What is adulting?
Adulting is a process of maturity or a process towards maturity. A person at 40 is still adulting.
Hope.
Yeah, kama hajafika where he or she wants to be or when he or she should be, according to his own prescription, that person is still adulting. But mostly adulting tends to bend towards the side of, from after high school, 17, 18 to 35. That's the stage.
Okay. So good. I think to me, adulting is that process where you now identify yourself, know what you want, know when you want it, know how to get it, and how you will make it last. That is adulting to me.
Okay, makes sense.
I I don't know, but maybe someone else might think like it's just as simple as that. So we divided it into two things, whereby things that you should do and things that we shouldn't do. Usually, I think it is things that you should do, right? It's about trying, and I'll be doing the things that usifanya when it comes to adulting.
I feel like adulting is an issue or a stage where people have a lot of expectations.
Exactly.
People face a lot of challenges as well. People doubt themselves in the process. Some are overconfident about the process. Some just do things the wrong way.
I think this is that stage in life that a lot of decisions are made by you and you alone.
Yeah.
And consequences are faced by you and you alone. This is that point in life where
whatever you do will affect the whole life.
Yeah, it'll affect you, your children, and your children's children. So it's up to you at this stage to decide what you want. And that is what I was saying. It's that point where you identify what you want. So I feel like adulting, it's something that people don't usually talk about because we assume we are adults, so we know everything. It's not that way. There are things that you won't be taught in a classroom. There are things that a friend might tell you, I must tell you, you might tell me, someone else might tell you, or you might see from something else, from an experience. So this process, it involves a lot of so many things that I think people have normalized or people assume.
It absorbs a lot of your energy, your attitudes towards life, and I feel like the attitude should be humility, positivity, and self-drive. Because when you're positive, you're attracting. The law of attraction says that when you're positive, you attract good things to your life, and you see things in the second mirror. The first mirror when someone tells you what you're doing is not right, you'll be like, "Oh, I'm trying." That will be the first thought. Then the second thought comes like, okay, yeah, amesema nafanya vibaya. What is it I can do to make myself better? Then self-drive. You know what is expected of you. You know what you're supposed to do. You need to get out of bed and do what you have to do. So the three attitudes are important.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And you know, when once you're told something, there's a way that you should react to it. And I think this is now where the talk starts from.
Yeah.
Most of the people, it's the nature of human beings. When we are told something that is actually, when someone comes and corrects me, and I know it's true, I'll go on defense mode right away, and be like, it's their father heavy and all that. But at the end of the day, I'll just come and sit down and tell myself, by the way, it also. So I think as human nature, when we are at this stage whereby we want to define, there are things that we should just accept. Mtu akuja kuambia. And that is why I like these people when even if you tell them that you've dressed sijui aje, they'll be like, oh, thank you. Ako tu sawa. Like, to them, life is just the normal. But to some point, I feel like they're also missing something else. You can't be agreeing to everything. You know, once you start agreeing on everything that we say, we'll just take advantage of it and maybe also see like, hey, yeah.
Also, adulting creates an image of you straight away from the word go. I mean, you want to spice your adulting with indulging in things that you're not supposed to be indulging in. Creates a perception in other people's minds. This person is not a good person. This person, like from just the word go, like what you portray yourself to be. Anasema this is a rude person. Then akisikia jina yako kwa nje, asema you're a very rude person just because of what you did once. So impressions as well matter.
How you'll behave the first time we meet will actually set some perception about you in my mind. And whenever
So you always give people a second chance in impressions. Like that's your nature. As for me, first impression done, that's the
for me, I believe in second chances. And at times I take my time to learn someone. You know, you might have done something wrong at the first time. Maybe it's because of where you came from. Maybe things were not good. Someone annoyed you, and so you don't know how to direct your anger, your negative energy. So I'll be like, the first time, okay, ni sawa. But if you repeat it for the second time now, I'll start saying, this person isn't the best. So I usually take my time. That is true. But then I'm this type of person who usually take his time, even if you do something wrong. But then it also depends on who you are or where you come from. Not that easy. If you come from a place where I know they're notorious, I'll just be like, nick away out. That is me.
But I feel like there's some people who are good judges of character at an instance, and they're like,
but I've
never
realized at times when I give someone that opportunity, you come to later realize that I was right at the beginning. How it has happened, though you don't know when. At least there are people who have seen. At first, we're like, you are the one who was like, wouldn't you even avile? And I was like, give them time. You gave them time, you saw what was happening. Anyways, let us not.
That's a little part.
Yeah. So
we forgot you, and now we're picking you from here.
You did forget
what you shouldn't do. I think in adulting, in as much as you've tried to expound what adulting is, what it comprises of.
First thing you shouldn't do in adulting is seek for people's validation in whatever you're doing. When you're not an adult, stop seeking for people's validation. You see, put yourself before everyone. Put yourself kwanza. In that, I don't need to hear someone else's opinion about me so that I can move to the next point. If we decided to hear what other people said, do you think we'll record this episode today? No, we decided, okay, we're in that process of being adults, right? So some of these decisions we'll make wouldn't necessarily be the same as what other people think. And if we start listening to the opinions, it's necessary to show me. So stop seeking for validation. Ati, nani amesema nini kunihusu? And you're there posting picture, I'm waiting for Nani. I can just say, like, "Cause what? Me him. That person maybe doesn't even care. The person is just lying to you." And I usually like using this example. Forgive me. Ladies, forgive me. But I usually love using this example whereby ladies, you lie to your fellow girls. A girl comes from wherever she has come from, asks you, by the way, how do I look? Do I look smart? And you're like, not. You know, those lies that you usually tell them. Then I'll talk up when they miss like in a Brian. Where on you and just tell someone.
Okay, putting, okay, I don't know, or expecting other people to validate you
Very good.
in adulting. Let's go back to the meaning of adulting. You're starting to become an independent person.
You're starting to defining what you want.
What you want and what you are. So you shouldn't expect other people's expectations or, how do I say it, opinions to align with yours.
Exactly.
Because you're trying to find an identity, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, your head. What is your head say?
You know, I feel like in as much as we're being adults, in as much as we should accommodate other people's opinions, not all opinions will help us.
Yeah.
Not all. So I feel like when you want to do something and your heart tells you, you know, your heart will always tell you this is right or this is wrong. You'll always feel, as a human, you'll always feel like, okay, by the way, whatever I'm doing is wrong. If you feel it's wrong, it's wrong. Usifanye. If you feel it's right, just do it. Usingoje kuuliza rafiki yako, do you think this one is right? Do you think I'm doing the right thing? No, don't do that.
Really, that's straight. So, like, seeking advice is not wrong, but advice and opinions and validations are different.
Different things. And I feel like when we were giving the definition of adulting, we didn't say we didn't say them. We used the word you.
You.
It's an individual.
As we said, the other party as others. Others,
Exactly.
what is not.
Yeah. So seeking for validation from others, I think as an adult, you should stop doing this. Hii ni kitu ya watoto wa high school, teenagers. Once you are above that teenagehood, now you wed him to mzima, uko 20. Start thinking of me. What do I want for myself?
And we should also learn to differentiate advice and opinion.
Exactly.
I feel like advice is where a person tells you, okay, so you have two decisions. And when you do this, this will happen. And if you do the other one, this will happen. So choose wisely. I've advised you.
Advice.
But opinion, anakwambia, fuata hii, advice hii, and a specific one.
In a layman's language, advice will be me giving you two options. You pick from one, and I give you consequences of all the options. But when it comes to opinion, it's like dictatorship. Whatever I've said, you know, nataka ufanye. Like, this is the right one. I don't give you another option to pick from. I don't give you why you should do. It's like, vile nimesema, even ndio iko. So ile nimesema. I feel like we should stop confusing the two. Opinions za watu at times won't align with whatever you want. Won't align with who you are. So I feel like seeking validation is one of the most dangerous things that you might want to start doing as an adult. Stop seeking validation from other people. Yeah, what is your point?
My point is choosing your pleasure.
Under the topic, what you should do.
Yeah.
Exactly, don't forget.
You can choose pleasures or what you spend your leisures on wisely. There are different things you can do during your leisure time. You can read books, you can go online, you can sleep. But you're looking at the consequences part, right?
Yeah.
Because I was watching some video, I think Abel Mutula's daughter, she was being advised by a gynae or doctor. Like, she was being told, intercourse is good. It is very enjoyable. But
Sex is good. That is the thing. It's just, no, I even don't want sugarcoat things. It is what it is.
okay, it is good. It is enjoyable. But the part that people don't prepare themselves for is the consequences of what you're doing. I think. So when looking at the consequences part, is that intimacy, intercourse thing, the going out there drinking, there is doing drugs, a lot of things. So when you choose what you want to do wisely and you consider the consequences, critical thinking here, I think you will be promoting your adulting to another level, because when you're able to differentiate in your head, like if I do this, this and this will happen, and it's not right.
Yeah, and I think we should not only focus on drugs and all that. Sleep is also something that we should talk about. Too much of it has consequences. One, you'll start being lazy, and you will miss you'll miss a lot of chances just because you're sleeping. Then your health, yeah, in one way, you won't be able to think as other people, because ukuti pale ni kulala, your body, your cells won't be that active as other people.
In as much as sleeping increases your brain cells, it only means sleeping during night hours for 6 to 8 hours, but past that, you're overdoing it.
Reading books is also something that we need.
The type
Go
of
on the
books we're reading.
The type of books or how much reading. When you start reading from 6 to 6, do you think that it has some concept. Doing it in itself, but you also look at whatever you're doing. That is what you're saying, choosing it wisely. You've chosen reading books, but now it comes in selecting the time that you want. Time is that the duration that you're supposed to be taking reading this book. Have you ever heard that too much of something is dangerous?
Yeah.
So when you read too much, that book too much, one, you might lose the content. Two, you utachokesha mwili. Some point, when you overdo it now, pia itakuwa inafanya ni inaweza kuinterfere na cells zako kidogo kidogo. Tunasikia jamaa hayuko sawa siku hizi.
So I feel like it's doing what you choose doing, considering the consequences, and choosing wisely.
Yeah,
whatever it is,
whatever it is. Bad. Because anything is good, anything is bad. Drugs can be good, drugs can be bad, but it depends with how you understand it. That is the thing. I think that is where most of us don't understand. So yeah, my other point is ignoring responsibilities as an adult. When you start ignoring your responsibilities as an adult, then it's dangerous. Responsibilities starts from your personal hygiene, your personal grooming, your own organization, your way of life, your health. If you can't be responsible for your health, wewe kazi ni kukula tu because watu kula, ama wewe kazi ni kuenda sherehe because watu enda sherehe. To some point, you won't be responsible for your health, your growth. So I feel like if you start ignoring some of these responsibilities, all because, I'm 20, I'm still young, I'm enjoying life. Yes, enjoy life at 20. But that time, I think at 40, those friends, when you unaona, wow, ni wajinga wajui life, utakuwa unatamani sana kwa kama.
Yeah.
Ignoring responsibilities.
Responsibilities for me, will start with your own responsibility. What is my responsibility as a dad, or as, let me not even put it as a God, as a person? I should be clean, right? Let's just cut.
I won't say anything about
smile. Yeah, I'll just start with that, because I feel like many people are ignoring the cleanliness part.
Actual.
Yes, you bathed. That's okay, but how do you do it? Are you doing it right? I will go to the point of being concerned with, how I feel like how you smell is also a responsibility, and when you don't take care of it, it also affects.
I think a responsibility narrows down to the little things we do.
Yeah.
And shaving. Those areas. But it's someone might see, but someone might see it's a joke, and someone might
be serious.
It's
not about it.
It's your responsibility to clean up.
Yeah.
You shouldn't shave. Sasa, imagine you dress there with your sweetie, smart city Italiano. Ile tunatoka huku.
The strength of the sweat in a Kajabisha. That's like, correct.
let us just live at that point, because the point, looking at it,
I feel like such a mother
we can't.
get.
But ignoring your responsibilities, personal cleanliness, I mean, your personal health, your mental health, these are your responsibilities.
Yeah.
You need to take care of them. If you start ignoring one, but ignoring one will lead to the downfall of all the rest. So there's no way you'll tell me you were ignoring your books. Your responsibility yako ni kufanya assignments, kuzisubmit for you to graduate. You know, once umeignore your
Things
hautagraduate, ukiignore mambo nao sifai kuwa naenda hosi. And by the way, I feel like ladies nyinyi ndo mna shida sana kutuliko sisi wanaume. Though most people don't know, but there's that responsibility of going to the gynecologist. I'm just being honest about, as a lady, if you can't visit that person, believe me, there are things that will start happening in your life. Then utaanza kujiuliza, mimi sipendwi na Mungu. It's your responsibility to take care of your health. I think let me explain your point, ignoring your responsibility with that one. I won't explain further than that. But guys, pia, meno, kubrush meno, kwenda hosi.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I think don't just ignore. Adulthood comes with so many things, and responsibilities ndogo ndogo.
And there's this other one. You know, when we indulge ourselves in things we're not supposed to indulge ourselves in,
Example?
we have fruits of it. I'll just go straight to the point. This is something that we're seeing out here. We have single. How do we call them? The single moms who are very young
Yeah.
out here. Like right now, the numbers are going up, and it's very concerning. This is just because someone ignored
I think as guys,
her responsibility. I feel like once you know you had unprotected sex, you should, learn how to take care of yourself as a lady. You should also know the repercussions of what you did. Don't just be like a person, I be go to car.
but then I feel like when it comes to that, it's a responsibility for both parties.
Yes, that's why I say.
And you get it that most of guys wanasema, men wanasema tio silikuwa wewe peke yako. Had it not been you, it wouldn't have happened. It's something that brought you together. So I think the reason as to why you'll get these ladies wanakuwa single moms, it's because
At a very young age.
I ignored my responsibility as a guy, which is very wrong.
I feel like also education is, as a cause of it, like a little tiny part of it, because you know that once you have unprotected sex, you're at the risk of getting a child or being with child. Then when you don't take care of yourself, like you gave consent to whatever you guys did.
But you ignore that part. I mean, it's like the things that we ignore,
That really cost us.
they cost us. So it is our responsibility to make sure that we look at these things. We define
Close conversation.
whatever we want. What next should we?
We should use money wisely. Money is something that defines a lot of things. It defines class. It defines what you eat, what you wear, where you hang out, your friends. Money is like the SI unit. Look at Kenya right now. It defines how much you borrow, how much IMF will listen to you. It defines the kind of presidents you'll be hanging out with, whether it's Iraq or
Did you know that
Joe Biden.
money also determines whether you'll see a politician or not?
Very true.
And believe me,
Or whether you'll be seeing SUVs or you'll be driving in them, money is like the bar. It sets the bar.
but now it comes in. Well, most of us, the young people, most of the young adults, we waste a lot of money in things that I usually say useless.
Yeah.
It's not bad treating yourself.
But
Overdoing it is dangerous.
or just being a spendthrift.
We gari mpya wanted, nyumba naye ni sawa, because nyumba iko na value yake increase, but gari na maintenance, all that. Why would I have a liability and I know that I'm still young?
You know,
And what is the money?
wrong. It's very wrong for me, or it's very wrong according to me, for you to have a shelf full of expensive shoes and you're still borrowing money. I mean, you're spending your cash on buying expensive shoes when you can take that money and, build a business or something, a startup.
Yeah, see,
It's a crime. It's a crime.
adulting, come on. And that is why this conversation is actually to help some of us. So some of us, yes, we know what we want. Some of us do not know what they want. And I think when you listen to whatever you're saying, it's our own opinions. But to some point, I feel like it will help someone out there. As a company, Watawili, I'm happy at least I helped two people.
Yeah,
You see, when that money, it's there. That's time that it's there. Use it wisely. Try and start businesses. Try and maybe get a house, so that one day that when that money isn't there,
at least
you can say, oh, by the way, at least niko na hii. I was listening to some interview by it was on Saturday, one of the Saturdays, and one of Hokari were the ones being interviewed by Uncle Fred Machoka in Citizen. Then they won some cash. Back then they were asked, "Iyo pesa mlipeleka wapi?" They said, the money we invested it in our music. We started other businesses. Then that song called Rumba is the mother of all. It's the first fruit of that money. So if they themselves said that they invested it in so many other things, when you have that opportunity, and I learned when I have that opportunity to get that money, I shouldn't waste it on unnecessary things. Let me use that money on so many other things that will bring the money back, even if it's not today or tomorrow. But at some point, like, I'll sit down and be like, oh, in the pesa that I earned 10 years ago, invest it somewhere. So I feel like, alafu, once you know how to use it wisely, and I think that one also brings me to my next point, which is not taking risks.
Not taking risks. Not taking risks is a risk itself on its own.
You see, this point might be so hard to understand, but I feel like it's something that as adults we should know, young adults we should know. You see, when we talked about investing, taking that money somewhere, using it wisely, you see, risking is, you know very well that hii pesa nikieka place fulani, it can come back or it might not. Take that chance. That is what I mean by the risk. So if I can't take that chance, if I can't try out something, let me tell you something. You see what we are doing here? We took the risk of one. We know that there's a bullying, kwezi wetu, kuna kutukanwa, sijui, all these things, ziko.
Yeah, there is the wrong perception where people just think you're sharing your own opinions without accommodating others' opinions.
So we know that it is risky, whatever we are doing, because people will judge, but we still take that risk. So if you do not take some of these risks in life, you won't know, you won't even understand where your potential lies. You'll just be there like, oh, me, I'm just okay with whatever I have. So I feel like taking risks here, what we need to avoid.
Yeah.
It's bad that unajua hakuna haja nike pesa yangu pale. No, invest your money. Wacha iende. If it comes back, thank God. If it doesn't come back,
you don't take risks foolishly.
Yeah, pure truth.
Analyze.
You also choose whatever you're doing.
Yeah, so it brings me to my next point, which is making sacrifices for yourself and others. Adulting involves a process where you start to see things in I don't know if it's in a bigger picture or in a bigger picture, or from the bigger picture. For example, I'll just start. For example, I'll start with sacrificing your ego.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the things you shouldn't do is, okay, maybe you'll just say it, but I'll start with as young people, we are striving to be our own person.
Yeah.
And the first challenge you'll come across, whether your parents support you or not, is the parent. because the parent tells to become as an umbrella. And now when you try to close that umbrella and say, I want to be an umbrella on my own, ni kama anakuzuia. You will never see it. You'll never understand it. You'll always think you will always think that your parent is against you, but hayuko against you. Anataka ubaki under his or her own umbrella. And that brings me to the point of arguing with parents over little issues. Our parents also have a weird way of understanding things and perception, and they tend to think that when you do something your way, something bad will happen to you. You know, they don't want you to take that risk or that big step. You understand? And when you sacrifice your ego, you'll be like, okay, utaki kuargue na yeye. You'll just say, sorry, Mari, anaona umemkosea. You know, that is ego, because I know I'm right. But for the sake of peace, acha tuiishe. You know, saying sorry is sacrificing your ego in a way. And also sacrificing for others. You know, as an adult, like, for example, I'm born in a family of 6 children. I'm not ashamed of saying that. I'm very proud of that. But as a second born, I understand that at times, hakuna pesa. Like, you know, they have other priorities. So, and when I see that what I'm asking for is too expensive, and there's that last born, anafaa kuenda shule, anafaa kuanza shule, I'm like, no, when I ask for this right now, I'll be burdening my parents, you know, and I have that capability of saving and doing it my own way. Acha tu afanyie mdogo. But that is sacrificing for others.
I think sacrificing for oneself is also somewhat connected to that. You know, you see, you might have 2 opportunities.
Yeah.
You might, like, maybe you have a business. Then there are 2. You have to sacrifice one in order for one to work. And if you have to stay with both of them, zote zitakukaisha. So you have to sacrifice that one. There are times, as a person, you have to sacrifice one thing in order for the other one to work. So it's not all about decisions that, the parents also play a role hapo, but at times you have to sacrifice some of these things so that I'm not saying it's bad to be under the umbrella of a parent, but at some point, for you to avoid that one, just sacrifice ile kitu naita peace ya sijui mzazi amesema go your way, do it, learn from it. Kuja ukiketi pale utakuwa tu zile zake my mom amesema my dad amesema.
Situations where you'll have to default that umbrella and go your own way. Like, I'll give an example. Parents feel like they have a right to choose what you should study. I don't know.
That is now when you sacrifice that respect, that thing.
It's not that we don't respect them. We just want to do something we believe in. Because imagine dedicating 60 years. 60 is even a lot. 50 or 40 years doing something you didn't want.
It's so dangerous.
It's too much.
So I think when it comes to education, people who get good grades, like A, B, so the people who their parents want to tell them what they want, get a C, sibling, C minor, kurudi chini. You usually ask, unataka kufanya nini? I'm not saying that you should fail. You shouldn't. You should pass.
That is just an aspect that we observed and
So at times, you can sacrifice whatever the parents think in order to get what you want. Another point, and this one I think in adulting, you know, as you grow, you also learn things. Maybe you found that person that you truly love, you want to spend the rest of your life with. But then your parents hawagree nayo simply because the person comes from a different background as yours in terms of the ethnic extraction, in terms of the financial background, in terms of the educational background, and you really love this person. At times you just have to sacrifice whatever your parents are saying in order to be with this person, but not all the times. At times they know why they're saying that, and try and look at the reason as to why they're doing that. That one brings...
it also brings me to this point in life where you have to, balance the good and bad. I think when you're writing an article, a journalistic article
Yep.
that might risk the reputation of someone, but it has human interest in it, you have to balance the good
And
the bad.
Yeah, true.
Then when you've already analyzed, then you should make a decision whether you should write the article or not. That's the same way you should do your own decisions, like know the good and the bad, long-term effects, short-term effects. If the short-term effect is that nitakosa pesa for a while, but the long-term effect is that I'll be rich later in life, why not?
Same example is sacrificing for others. As an adult, at times you're required to sacrifice for others. And
Yeah.
I think I'll bring this one in terms of friendship or maybe your brothers and sisters at home. You see, there are these opportunities that we get. But then when you look at us, but not more opportunities than those ones who are next to us. Maybe a sister or a brother of mine, this is the only opportunity. Let me know, Connor. I can sacrifice myself in order for them to get it. So while wakipata then they are successful, I'll be happy. Because maybe sacrificing that opportunity might bring another opportunity for me.
Yeah.
Same to inaweza kuwa friendship ama inaweza kuwa. So there are these sacrifices we make for friends. At times they pay us off later on in life. So you never know. The sacrifices that you make for yourself or others, at times they pay. So if you can't and you think it will pay, do it. Why shouldn't you do it? Just make the sacrifice.
The thing, at times I feel like, I don't want to say that it's bad, but also being selfish, at times it's not good.
Yeah.
Because it will always come back to you. Karma is a bitch, as always. It always come back to you. If you have that ability to give and help someone out, please do, because that is sacrifice. I had planned to go and, go to Mombasa with this money and treat myself very well. But there's a friend asking for the little he she can get.
You can sacrifice.
Sacrifice the happiness and help a person.
I think that is that. So I think my next point is judging others based on how they are on their past.
The
Like,
past or
what's
what
the things that you should do? Today when I judge you because of your past, I don't know what will happen tomorrow. And the way they say dunia duara. So what goes around, what comes around, yeah.
I said it, karma is a bitch.
So today I might judge you because your past isn't that good. I'm like, unajua wazazi wako hawana pesa. Tomorrow it's me. And this is where now I have a problem with parents. Some parents wanajudge marafiki zetu based on how their past was.
You got to better ask how they are at the present moment.
Exactly. Ati rafiki yako anafanya nini? Oh, ati ni mwimbaji. Na wewe unasoma hilo. These are people you shouldn't be friends with. I feel like it's a mistake. Don't judge others because of what you see. As an adult, learn not to judge. Learn to appreciate. You see, I usually say your fingers aren't the same. They're never the same. You and I are not the same. There's things you can do that I can't do. There are things that I can do someone else can't. We have different abilities. And if we start judging others based on maybe our academical performances or our background, financial background,
We will be missing out.
we'll miss out on a lot of things.
Yeah. So you said something about what did you say? Let me just try and remember just now. You said something about
That is
judging people according to
it is judging people according to their past, their whatever you see it, their financial background, their educational level, as
appreciating, and
Yeah.
that's part of appreciating. If you don't appreciate another person according to whatever background, whether financial, education, okay, I said financial, right? Those various backgrounds, ethnicity, race. If you don't appreciate, then learn to accept. So
Yes.
I think that it's saying, okay, these are flowers, right? they're white. I don't like white. Maybe I don't like white. I just say, okay, there's just flowers.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
a
criticizing.
don't say it.
Somebody say it's not red, it's ugly, it's not pink. No,
See,
you don't have to do all that.
I usually have a problem working with a lot of people, but at some point I just accept it because it's the only way that I'll move. Because working with so many people, to me, I feel like some people might not get the right thing, or someone might not do something because anajua watu wengine watafanya. Kutakuwa na into as a imbalance mahali.
Yeah, but you don't have to say.
But I won't tell you. Okay, sawa. Let us just talk as it is. That is who I am. I'll just accept.
But as also, you should not tolerate parasitic friendships. That is something you shouldn't do. Once you realize a friendship is not working for you, my friend, walk away or run. So I would say you should run. You should learn. Anything you should run. You should learn to accept, because when you accept, it's like a neutral ground. You don't appreciate. You don't criticize.
Yeah. What is your point next?
My next point is you should think things through before acting. Adulting is that stage from 17 to 35. So the regret mostly at this stage is long term most of the time. Whether you're drinking, you'll have liver cirrhosis, you'll have lung issues. If you're engaging in practices which are not right, maybe unprotected sex, you'll have STIs, HIV, which is lifetime. You'll have a child in your life 9 months down.
And I'm not saying having a child is bad.
It's not bad, but how you do it.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is that some things, when they come with consequences at this stage, the consequences tend to be a long-term consequence. And by the time you come to recover, have your mental state right, it's too late. It's either you're 40. We hear of people going to chase their dreams, singing on Voice Africa, Voice Nigeria at 40. Why at 40? Because they just realized, I know how to sing. Singing can bring me something. I'm not saying realizing yourself late is wrong, but they did something that maybe you think singing is not a career. It's not something that can push you for long. You'll get old. The voice will grow croaky. Then you go and do accounting, something that doesn't even excite you. Then when you reach 40, you're like, no, I want to do singing. You're pursuing it at a late age. At this age, you don't have that strength to go for 2 hours. You don't have strength to go, vibe with the young people, because young people create, the
The energy is very
yeah, the energy is different.
very different.
So I feel like whatever we do at this stage is very critical. Whatever we decide to do.
So if today we miss a step at a very young stage of adulting, it will affect us huko mbele. And when it comes huko mbele, there are things we can't do. Maybe ile nguvu hatuna. Though it's never too late to start something. But then don't live with that notion that it's never too late. If you have the opportunity, do it. Yeah. My next point is comparing yourself to others or with others. Never do that. If you want to be a good adult and a mature adult, stop doing that. I'll use the same example. All these players, the same. Your abilities are not my abilities. If you studied law, I studied journalism. We went on different paths. There's a reason as to why you did that. There's a reason as to why I did this. We can never be the same. The only thing that makes us same is we're human beings. That's the only thing. We breathe the same air.
I feel like comparing is the possibility of not seeing the good in what you did. or you
Yeah,
see
you
a
don't see
gap.
yourself.
Yeah, you don't see yourself.
I want
You're only seeing what the other person did, and you're not seeing, especially the good or the reason why you did what you did.
But then I think when you start comparing, maybe we have done something good. Maybe ours is better than the other person. But the mistake we do is like, "Nani amefanya aje?" When you start looking at that person, even if we did something good, we won't ever see it. Because we are looking at what the other person said. We start now comparing. And also it happens with parents, where parents start comparing their children. Where as a parent, if you start comparing hapa, you create some division. Then how to talk when you compare wataanza vita. When they grow up, it will be a competition between the two. I recently watched a movie whereby there was this comparison thing. Then during their adulthood now, they started competing. Oh, mimi ndo nina vitu nzuri, wewe ndo una vitu nzuri. Because of that comparison, kule chini. When you start comparing yourself with other people, as an adult, you will lose a lot of things that you're supposed to be doing.
You will be missing out on a lot of.
Hata kama umefanya vizuri, nani amefanya vipi? Stop that.
I feel like competition is right, but there's unhealthy competition. The same way in business, there's the healthy competition and the cutthroat one. Let's leave the cutthroat competition.
So I think comparison litaleta that unhealthy competition. Whereby sasa ni kama tunashindana. But unajua competition nyingine ni you have a business, I have a business. Competition yetu ni getting clients, making ourselves better than we are. Then say tunashindana as such. People from outside will see us competing, but to us, we're trying to make ourselves better. That is okay. But now when we start comparing ourselves, then tunaanza kushindana na watu ati mimi, I'm better than you, I got good grades than you. You might have good grades, but when it comes to hapa nje, I have better grades than you.
Skills. Uko nje.
That's normal.
Yes.
I usually say, I might get a D in school, but hapa nje niko na A, na hakuna kitu utafanya.
And actually that makes someone marketable.
Skills, creativity, very important. So comparison.
I think I'm done with my point.
I think I'll add one. And this one was about being dramatic and petty. As an adult, stop being dramatic and stop being petty. There's no way we want to create issues and everywhere. Then you expect us to.
You've said being dramatic and petty.
Yeah.
What about we put it in how do I put it? A person who puts himself or herself at the center of everything, even when things are not about them.
Stop being.
That brings the pettiness.
Yeah, you'll see when they say in English they call it, this word is called pomposity.
Pomposity.
Yeah, I'm trying to reframe. So don't be a person who's full of pomposity, whereby you only think you deserve everything. That one will bring that point here. You all create issues with kila mtu because I feel like I deserve. Then you start being petty. Leo umejivaje leo? My friend. Nimejivaa. That is not a problem. As an adult, be humble.
Then that person had to go home, shower, dress up again.
I feel like being dramatic and petty, at some point, you just want to create issues everywhere. At hi-fi. Then this one makes you lose a lot of opportunities.
That is part of mental health. Because when you're not if you want to shout or project your inner arguments inside your mind, you tend to bring this drama.
I think the solution to that should have 10 minutes alone.
Yeah.
But you see, find your issues with yourself. Maliza huko then come. But being petty and dramatic. Where we wonder, hey, if your relationship isn't working as an adult, so what's on in life? Are you forcing the guy to be there or are you forcing the lady to be there? Stop being dramatic and petty at you. Shati yake ina lipstick haja kata. Shati yake inarikia parashika point. Stop creating issues about it. Kama hakutaki. And that is why now, when you start being dramatic and petty, you start forcing issues where they're not supposed to be forced. Na si relationships peke yake, at a job. And you lose a lot of opportunities because maybe ule mtu mwenye unaosha zile drama and you're being petty on not the person who would have connected you to your success. Alafu umeanza hapo madharau zako. Ati umejivaa aje, sijui. You know, adulting is something to it. But it depends with the decisions that you make.
Very true.
So yeah, that is my last. And please, first, be humble. As an adult, be humble. You're closing.
My closing. I think we say that we shouldn't blame things on stages, right?
True.
It's all about character, background, and bringing. For me, just talk about the character. Let's do to others what you want or what you would have liked to be done to ourselves. Because if I consider that this person wouldn't be kind to me if I threw the bucket at him, then don't throw the bucket, Ju. You know, it's an action-reaction thing. And be kind, be humble. This world, you're not an island. You will meet other people. And for you to have that environment, a culminating environment that can accommodate others, we have to be positive, right? Yeah, so let's develop good behavior and let's stop blaming things on stages because puberty didn't do anything to anyone.
It was just a stage.
It was just a stage.
We didn't die.
Yeah, we didn't die. So that is it for today. My name is Tina again. And feel yeah, and feel free to subscribe, comment, and like, and also share with others the video.
Be blessed.
Our social media handles.
Astina _254.
That's for TikTok. And for Instagram,
I am
I am
_Astina.
Have a good one.